My name is Brandon, and welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find the latest album reviews, you can find our band interviews, and you can find our live episodes, which we do every Wednesday night at around 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So definitely, if you enjoy talking music, come hang out with us, come chat. We would really appreciate all of your support. If you definitely come check that out, that'd be amazing. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. All the new, album reviews, all the band interviews. Definitely don't miss out on this. It's I think it's a cool way for you guys to stay in the loop, and hopefully you guys can recommend me stuff that I'll get to do down the line. So that'd be amazing. Again, it's all up to you. If you'd like to do it, great. If not, that's fine as well. Also, if you could, make sure to hit that like button. Again, it helps us, get to bigger and better things. So definitely, if you could do that, that'd be amazing. And we at Audio Addiction appreciate your support. But tonight, we're going to be talking about Yellowcard's final record. They're self-titled.
If there was no one there, would you open up for me? If this was the last time.
So, for those of you who don't know about Yellowcard, they are kind of a pop rock, sort of rock-based band that have been around for a long time. They're definitely one of the bands that got me started listening to this alternative style of music. So I hold them very dear to my heart. I still think Ocean Avenue is one of the greatest records written, within 20th century. Just it's such a classic record. A lot of people know, even if they don't know about this particular style of music or this particular scene of music, they know the classic, Ocean Avenue, and there are other famous albums like Lights and Sounds and Paper Walls and a whole host of other ones. When you're through thinking, Say Yes, that one's another great one. Lift a Sail was also another really good one. They've just been putting out some awesome records over their lifespan, but they decided to call it quits. I at least got to see them on Warped Tour, and I've seen them a few other times, but it was really sad and exciting to see them on their last tour. Kind of, I know they're doing a final tour, but hopefully I get tickets to that one. But yeah, I'm just super bummed out. They're one of my favorite bands, and I'm really sad to see them go. But I wish them the best, of course, and hopefully they do reunion tours or whatever, if it comes to it. But I would certainly like to see that. But let's get in with the tracks. The first track is Rest in Peace. If you know Yellowcard, this is a very sentimental track, I would say. Just like I said, just because they are going away, I feel like this kind of instills what they're about and stuff like that. And if you watch the music video, it has like bits and clips of like fans over the years of just shows and stuff like that, and it's just a kind of a cool thing to go down memory lane. And I think it's a cool homage to fans of Yellowcard. But yeah, I think I definitely dug this track, even if it was a single. I still think this track's a good one. But to me personally, I'll talk about it a little bit later. But I thought this track overall was really good. I think the structure is very nice. I like that it's got this cool like opening with Sean and Ryan, with just the violin, and then the obviously the guitar riffs and the drums and the bass comes through, and then just the whole instrumental package. I feel like they've gotten good at just writing tracks. Obviously they've been writing tracks for a long time, but I feel like they put a lot of effort into it, considering this was going to be their final record. So we'll move on to track number 2, which is What Appears. I feel like this one's a curveball in my opinion, along with Got Yours and Savior's Robes. I feel like those 3 are like the heaviest tracks off the record, and they're more rock based. But I really enjoyed this one a lot. I think this and Got Yours, they have this sort of like nostalgic pull, just like what I was referring to in the Green Day record that was just or will be releasing October 7th. But Yeah, I really thought these two tracks were really great. They just remind me of iconic, Yellow Card, and just in Yellow Card fashion. Um, but I feel like in these tracks they're missing their old lead guitarist. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but I know um Parsons. I don't know his first. I know his first name, but I'm not gonna try to butcher it. But he obviously left the band, and I felt like he was a key element to how they sounded and stuff like that. But I feel like these two tracks, "What Appears" and "Got Yours," harken back to those old days. Back when they were playing like Lights and Sounds, like Ocean Avenue. They were very more, I would say, more drum based than anything. And nothing against their new drummer Nate Young, also another great. He was also from another great band that broke up, Amberlin. But I really enjoyed these two tracks, "White Appears" and "Got Yours." I feel like those two are, to me, those are the one of my those are both my favorites. Sorry, I can speak English. But yeah, I would definitely consider those to be my favorites off the record, and Savior's Robes as well. But we'll get to it once we get there. But we'll move on to track number 4, which is "A Place We Set Afire." I thought this one was a different approach as well. But I really enjoyed this one as well. It's kind of more of in that pop rock direction. But I still enjoyed, I love the way Ryan Key composes his tracks, and just, overall thought process behind everything. I know he just more recently bought a studio, or was working in a studio to just kind of do things. So I don't know if he produced this record or not, but I really like just the overall how, their instruments are arranged, how they're mixed, in the mix and stuff like that. I really enjoyed this track a lot. So I would definitely put this in one of my favorites. We'll move on to track number 5, which is "Leave a Light On." I think this one's one of the more interesting ones off this record. I also enjoyed this one a lot, and I would probably put it in my favorites just because I love those like ballady sort of lovey-dovey tracks. I feel like this one's another like kind of track. I wouldn't even. I would probably put it in the same ranks as, "Only One," but maybe a little bit less impactful, but nonetheless a great track. I like Ryan's keys, actually. No pun intended. I like what he was doing on the piano in this. I like that it's kind of, very stripped down, very bare bones, in that way. I feel like, again, it has this emotional pull to it. So I really enjoyed this one as well. I would put this one again in my favorites off the record. So we'll move on to track number 6, which is "The Hurt Is Gone." This was the second single that they released. Um, Almost slipped there. But yeah, this one is probably the most interesting one off the record. It just has this, to me, it has this Jimmy Eats World sort of vibe to it. Also maybe a little bit of Everlong from Foo Fighters, of course. I feel like that almost that riffage is very similar, and that's why it kind of gives me that sort of vibes. But I love Jimmy Eats World as well, but I feel like this track is, a little bit more Jimmy Eats World kind of flair to it. But I really enjoy this one. I think it's a good single. I wouldn't put it in my favorites necessarily, but I think overall it's a good track. We'll move in to track number 7, which is "Empty Streets." This one is another good sort of rock based track. I feel like, this this is just another solid sort of pop rock track on the record. I don't really have anything particularly to say about it. I just feel like, again, Ryan Key does a masterful job at some arranging some of these tracks. I would say that this doesn't fall into one of those categories. Um, I don't know. It's just something that just didn't impress me, and I kind of glazed over. But we'll move on to track number 8, which is "I'm a Wrecking Ball." This is just basically Ryan and an acoustic guitar, and then there's obviously some layering and stuff. But for this track, I really enjoyed it only because of the vocal layering that Ryan does. He kind of has him singing it in a higher octave, and then he has, like a lower octave of him singing it. And I feel like, obviously his voice melds well together with his, but I feel like, I feel like, in the song it just fits very well, and just it's a very mellowish track. I would definitely consider it almost folksy a little bit. It just has a sort of folkish sort of vibe to it. feel like they've kind of mellowed out over the years, and they've taken more like vibes from other genres like indie, from folk stuff like that, and you can definitely tell that this is more of an influence. I also like Sean's sort of like additives on the whole track. I feel like that's always what differentiated them from a typical pop rock sort of band. That they had Sean doing some violin work, but um, we'll move on to track number 9, which is Savior's Robes. I would definitely say this is my favorite track by far off the entire record. It's just got this grittiness to it. It's just got this aggression, not aggression, but it's just got this gritty, aggressive tone to it, like just a straightforward rock track, and brought me back to those nostalgic days of Ocean Avenue, Paper Walls, Light and Sound. I wouldn't say it's as heavy as Lights and Sounds, but I would definitely say that it's more, in that more aggressive, like sort of in your face sort of rock tracks. But I would most definitely say this one's the best track off the record, without a doubt. And then lastly, Fields and Fences. I believe it's about a 6 minute long track. It's just a cool like atmospheric track to end out the record. Um, and I really enjoyed this one as well. I think I enjoyed it like I would enjoy I'm a Wrecking Ball, just this sort of folksy, sort of mature sort of vibe to it. And I think it kind of pairs well with the first track, Rest in Peace. They kind of flow into each other. So I definitely dug that. But let's move on to the pros and cons of the record. Pro, I feel like, it's some masterful writing from all the guys in Yellowcard. There's, you can tell that they have matured over time, and, obviously they know how to write tracks and how to arrange them and stuff. They've been doing it for countless amounts of years, and, that definitely shows that they are just seasoned as, artists and stuff like that. So, first and foremost, I appreciate that. As well as some of the tracks I really like that, they did something different. I think if they did another Ocean Ave, or if they did another Lights and Sounds, or if they did another Paper Wall, I think it would have come off as almost cliche in a way. It's like, oh, well, you want to play your roots. I like that they took the creative liberties and just did an album that they would want to do. And, I know there will not be another Ocean Avenue sort of album, but, I appreciate just the honesty about it, and just the honesty of the tracks in general. But some cons I would have to say is that, I think they lost some essential pieces of Yellowcard, Parsons, after he left. I feel like, the band kind of, obviously went in a different direction, of course. But I feel like they kind of lost their essence, and the same with their lead guitar player. I feel like when you lose members, you lose sort of the essence of your entire band, and I feel like that's the case with this band. I'm not saying that they don't write, that they're writing terrible tracks now. I just feel like there's a missing piece to these albums. Like there's a missing piece that Parsons could have added to. There's a missing piece that their lead guitar player could have added to. I just feel like there's some things that they could have just, made it a little bit tighter and just a little bit more thought gone into it. I mean, I like the songwriting, and I think if you approach this album as if, it's a totally different band, and, not known for Ocean Avenue, not known for Lights and Sounds, not known for Paper Walls, I think you'll get a lot more out of it. That's definitely what I did. Obviously you can't base a whole album just off of, previous work that they've done, especially if they're trying to experiment, and they've been around for such a long time that, they're able to do that. But overall, I like what they did. I like that it's a change of pace. It's not the same album. It's not the same album as one of their older albums. I just like that they stuck to their guns and, did what they wanted to do, not just what people wanted to hear. And I give props to them for that. But my overall rating for this record, I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. I'm not saying it's their best work, most certainly not, but I don't think it's their worst work. I think that, again, you have to come into it a mentality that they're not going to make another Ocean Ave. They're not going to make another Lights and Sounds. They're not going to make another Paper Walls. I think that's the mentality that you have to come into with, and me being away from Yellowcard for some time, and just coming back and like reliving, how Ryan Key sounds, and just his songwriting. I think overall, I think this one's a great record. I think everybody should at least give it a listen and, give it some thought. But, I feel like it kind of lacks in comparison to, their previous records. And, I would certainly say that they would say that that was their best record, Ocean Avenue, for sure. Because like a lot of people know that record and a lot of people love that record. But I feel like overall they did a excellent job. I just feel like I think out of everything, I think I appreciate just the musical honesty that they just wanted to make something, you know, that they wanted to make, and that definitely shows in this record. It's not one noted. It's not one sided. There's anything from, like I said, there's anything from like pop sort of ish stuff. There's rock stuff. There's some folksy stuff. There's some indie-ish sort of stuff. I think it's all over the place, and I like that in that way. It's not like messy. It's just all over the place because it's just different, pulling from different genres and pulling from different influences. So, overall, I feel like you should give it a listen at the minimum, especially if you are a Yellowcard fan. I think it's well in your wheelhouse to go check that out. But let me know in the comments what your favorite tracks were on this record. I know it comes out tomorrow, the 30th, sorry, of September, and I'd certainly like to know your thoughts on it. I think it's a solid record overall. I think I have to just look at it as a fan, being like, oh well, they're not gonna make another record like that, and I think you'll get far far more enjoyment out of it if you come in with that mentality. If you come in with the mentality of like, oh, this is not Ocean Ave, this isn't whatever, I don't think you'll get a lot of grasp out of it. I think that's the whole point of them, and what they were trying to do is just that they're trying to make music that they like playing and stuff like that. So definitely go check that out. Definitely go, if you can, go check them out on their final tour. They're bringing two awesome bands, Like Torches and Dryjacket, two great bands, and hopefully I can get tickets to the Philly one. I would love to go see them for one last time. But yeah, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this whole album, and your thoughts on Yellowcard and in general. I'd certainly like to know in the comment section below, of course. Also, if you like the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Really helps out our channel, and I thank you so much. Also, if you liked what I did, definitely hit that subscribe button. Again, I appreciate the support, and with that being said, guys, we'll talk to you later. Peace.
So did you like the video? Then make sure you subscribe to Audio Addiction's channel by hitting that button right over there. Subscribe to our channel helps you stay up to speed on all of our latest content. Speaking of latest content, you can check out a recent episode from our live weekly show right down there, as well as a recent album review right over there. And you can check us out on social media right over there. So what are you waiting for? Let's talk music.